Court calls the case. People versus Lee Espinosa. 2 cases.
Rob Dow on behalf of the people.
Zachary Ward on behalf of Miss Espinoza. Miss Espinoza, can you please state your name?
Leah Espinosa.
And Judge, we apologize.
Hey, Mr. Ward. Since this just has to be the block that I just have to ask counsel to speak to their client about how they conduct themselves in the courtroom. I don't think I'm ever rude to anybody. I told Miss Espinosa as she was trying to get into the last block that she was set in the 11 o'clock block. My staff told her she was in the 11 o'clock block. It was on her screen. If she had looked at it, that it was 11 o'clock block. Then I got on myself, said she's in the 11 o'clock block and the court was taking recess. And she then had the nerve in my courtroom to call me rude. So I'm sure you don't. Behavior up.
Yes.
And you may proceed on the warrant.
Your Honor, on February 15th, 2023, approximately 8:09 p.m., officers Rope and Sloan were riding a double car when they observed the vehicle driven by Jake with an illegal window tint on the front windows. Lean check of the license plate showed that the registered owner had multiple full extradition felony narcotic warrants out of Florida. Officers made a traffic stop on the vehicle, making contact with Jake. They observed that the front seat passenger.
Sorry, guys, technical difficulties. Oh, my own. Sorry, rookie mistake. I got a ton of stuff out of Wyandotte, and oh my God, Judge Washington could not disappoint. It just got better and better and better, and I just couldn't take my eyes off of Judge Washington's for a second. So, court nerds, let's get it rolling.
Matched the description of the registered owner. Officers asked for ID from the passenger, who gave them a driver's license that obviously belonged to someone else, as the picture clearly showed this. Officers asked the passenger to step out of the vehicle. The passenger slammed the door on officers, and despite loud verbal commands by officers to stay parked, Jake ignored all commands and drove away, screwing the tires of the vehicle. Officers pursued Jake to a residential neighborhood at a high rate of speed until officers lost sight of the vehicle and terminated the pursuit. A short time later, dispatch received a call from a homeowner, 807 Orchard, that a woman had just put a bag on his front lawn and drove away. Officers reviewed the Ring camera footage from 807 Orchard, which clearly showed Jake had exited her vehicle, placing this bag on his lawn. Officers retrieved the bag. It contained the following items: a small package cellophane containing methamphetamine, package cellphone baggie containing 6 alprazolam pills, packages of marijuana, several used lottery tickets, a large quantity of new unfilled similar to the ones above for the packaging of narcotics, a small chisel that's commonly used to break and assist in packaging narcotics, and additional narcotic equipment such as synthetic marijuana vaporizers, cartridges, marijuana roach tool, shatter, and marijuana wax. This vehicle was entered into lien as a wanted vehicle, and a short time later, Taylor PD advised Wyandotte PD that the vehicle was parked at the Red Roof Inn. Wyandotte officers arrived a short time later and placed Jade under arrest. At the time of arrest, Jade refused to cooperate with officers to give location of her passenger. An inventory search was conducted of the vehicle where another bag of methamphetamine was found, as well as a BB pistol that looked exactly like an actual firearm. Nothing further.
All right, the court will indicate that upon examination of opinion, witness that find the offenses charged were committed and that there's probable cause to believe the defendant committed the offenses. And counsel, your appearance, please.
Attorney Corey Westmoreland Craig on behalf of Sandra J.
Thank you. Ms. Jade, your name for the record, please.
Sandra J.
Okay, and counsel, as to the arraignment.
Yes, Your Honor, I did have an opportunity to speak to Ms. J this morning regarding the allegations and the charges. She did not have any further questions for me, so I don't believe she has any. This court said this time we are prepared to waive the formal reading.
The court will waive the formal reading, enter a plea of not guilty I'm sorry. Court's going to waive the formal reading. Ma'am, you have the right to have an attorney. If you cannot afford one, the court will appoint one to represent you.
She would be requesting consideration for a further question.
The court assigned the order for court appointed attorney. And ma'am, you had an opportunity to speak to an attorney today, correct?
Yes.
I'm sorry?
Spoke to the attorney this morning. Is that what you asked?
Yes, you spoke to an attorney this morning.
Yes.
Okay. You also have the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. You also have the right to have a trial by a judge or by a jury. You also have the right to remain silent. Anything you say orally or in writing may be used against you. Do you understand that?
Yes.
All right. And the court's going to enter a plea of not guilty on behalf of the defendant. We're going to schedule this matter for probable cause conference on February 23rd.
Oh, woe is
Yeah.
me. I had so much meth in a bag. Oh, poor me.
9:10 a.m. Counsel asked about it, and I will give Sergeant Fitzpatrick an opportunity to sign.
Yes, Your Honor, I would like you to know that Ms. J is not currently on probation or parole. She does not have any other outstanding or pending matters out of any other court. She is currently a resident of Florida. She's up here visiting some friends with her 2 children. She is employed and works for Uber Eats at this time. After speaking with her at length, she did assure me that she would be appearing at all future court dates. She does not have any history of absconding from any honorable court. She does have a 2000 cannabis charge that was done in Florida and carrying a concealed weapon. Other than that, Your Honor.
Mom on the run.
Ask that all that be taken into consideration.
All right, thank you. And Sergeant Fitzpatrick, yes, Savon.
Your Honor, although she does not have an extensive criminal history, her current charges are of a serious nature, and further, the issues surrounding this incident and the person she was with, her lack of cooperation in relation to that in this matter are another issue entirely. She does maintain an address that's approximately 1,400 miles away. For those reasons, I believe a $75,000 10% bond would be appropriate.
Okay, and Ms. Kate, how long have you been in Michigan?
About a month or so.
A month?
Yeah. I was enjoying the weather, the snow. I have 2 teenage daughters, and I figured we'd come up with snow. Unfortunately, I'm the one who was enjoying the snow, not them.
Yeah, snow up your nose.
How old are your daughters?
13 and 14.
What a shame.
And are they enrolled in school?
Mine. I have a daughter with a heart condition, so we keep her from school because of that, the coronas and everything.
DeSanto ain't buying it.
And did you happen to check the forecast before you decided to come up to Michigan for a month? Because there hasn't been much snow.
Actually, there was. I was up in Sterling Heights for a little bit, and that was pretty snowy there. And then in Monroe, it was snowing.
Who were you staying with in Sterling Heights?
Oh, with my friend.
And so how are you supporting yourself while you're up here in Michigan for the month?
Employment of Uber Eats. Thankfully, I can work wherever I'm at.
And when were you initially planning on returning to Florida?
Probably in a month or two. I'm just seeing, because I'm enjoying this. I don't like the cold, but I like Michigan. I was always tied down to Florida because of my family, and I don't have anything anymore. I don't have my father is in a nursing home. I have a mentally handicapped brother, and he's in a home now. My whole life was my brother. Like, I had to take care of him. Finally, these ties broke, and I'm able to explore the world. And started from Michigan because I have a friend here, a good friend of mine, and I enjoyed here. I was born in New York, raised in Florida, not too far from here. I have my aunt in New York still, and she is going through cancer and all that. I'm not gonna go, but at least I'm closer to her if something were to happen. She's an elderly lady. But I like it here in
So you have the
Michigan.
opportunity to explore the world, and you chose to come explore Michigan for 3 months.
I do have that opportunity. I mean, it's the truth, I do. But I would be taking care of this priority here, because I don't want things to linger on me where I'm in somewhere else and something may happen, and then here goes my life.
Okay, so where are your daughters at right now?
Her uncle,
Where?
with their uncle.
Where's their
Who's
uncle?
also a drug mule.
Well, he's a truck driver, and he's now heading to Florida with him.
Truck driver.
They're gonna stay with the families, with him and his wife and his 2 sons. And so I can take care of everything. Because I've been here and they were with me, and we were in a hotel room. So I made sure that they were taken care of. I had my friend go to them that night, and from there, he was thankfully close by, so he was able to pick them up.
Story after story.
Okay, well, the court, based upon Ms. Jade's lack of, connection to the area, the, nomadic, scheme at this point, the court, is going to, and given the nature of the charges as well, the court's going to indicate a $75,000, 10% bond, no surety. In the event you post bond, you would have a GPS tether. House arrest. Not to possess or consume any alcohol or drugs unless prescribed. Anything else?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Not this time.
Okay, thank you. Have a good day.
See you later. Wow, she had an eventful trip to Michigan, huh? DeSanto wasn't buying it. She said she was here for the snow, and DeSanto was like, "Yeah, it hasn't snowed in here in a while. It's pretty nice over here. Give me a break." All right, let's go. Let's go to the madness in the 1200D magistrate. But before, I found a little crybaby. We found a little crybaby.
Again, you don't have to answer it if you don't want to. You knew you were supposed to be here on December 5th. That's not a question, that's a statement. After you knew that you'd missed this date, why did you not call the court or your attorney to try to take care of this warrant?
I think my attorney was, I forget her name, but I don't think it was Ms. Graham, it was her office, but I don't remember her name, but I did leave message after message after message for them to see if I had a warrant or to see how I go about fixing this. But I didn't continue to check with it. Like I said, I had other things going on at the time, but I do remember leaving her message, a couple of them.
Ms. Grimm, any indication of any messages or contact after December?
I had a different number I had to give them too.
Yeah, that was, her meeting with us was in October. What was the date she missed?
December 5th. Any log of any contact after December?
I don't have any information about that, Your Honor.
Okay. I'm going to leave bail at $2,000. I'm going to set a pre-trial for February 28th at 1 p.m. A readiness hearing for March 14th at 2 p.m. and a jury trial for March 27th at 9 a.m. The previously imposed conditions of release will continue to apply. We'll send over the paperwork.
When was the pre-trial? I'm sorry.
3/14.
Your Honor?
Okay, then I'm sorry, I missed the readiness hearing then.
I'm sorry, the readiness was 3/14. The pretrial was February 28th.
Can I say something?
Yes, certainly.
I just got this house that I moved into, and if I don't get back to work, I'm gonna in the house again, and I'll have to start over. And I can't start over with my kids. It was a hard run. I'll do whatever.
I feel for her, but you should have showed up to court. Watching hours and hours of court, real court, not Judge Judy. These judges, if you show up, they work with you. Most of these judges I watch don't drop the hammer on people. They only drop the hammer when you don't show up or you act like a jerk. They work with you on with everything, payments, jail time. I've seen judges give them jail. When do you want to go to jail? You know, like you could spread it out. You know, like don't give me this sob story. Just show up. Tell me in the comments. Don't you agree with that? You guys watch it. You guys are court nerds. These judges work with you.
I have, put me on probation or whatever, I'll do whatever I have to be here, but if I don't go back to work, I'm gonna lose my job. I've been sitting in my bosses even though where I'm at, so it's a no call, no show, and I'll be starting back from square one.
Mr. File, I'll leave it up to you.
Please, I don't want to go back to square one.
You've said enough, man.
See, these people get it wrong from the start. You don't show up, you're already in the doghouse, then you cry the blues. Show up and cry the blues then. Then he'll feel for you. At this point, he knows it's just BS because he's going to throw the book at you.
This does look like the first time she failed to appear in this particular case. I hate to book people out on the street when they have been making efforts to improve their lives. I wouldn't object to a PR at this point under those factual circumstances, but with the understanding that if there's another FTA, there will be bail, and I will not back down on that.
And I will say, Your Honor, there's been some communication between
Enough. I've
counsel.
heard enough.
I heard enough. See? Done. Heard enough.
I'm sorry to
Show
cut
up.
you off, Ms. Krim, but I've made a decision.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna let you out on your own recognizance.
And he still
If
lets
it were
her
left
out.
up to me, I would. The prosecutor had said, no, leave her in, I'd leave you in. It's Mr. File that's the one that's giving you the second chance here. So I'm gonna strike those dates that we have. I'm gonna set a new pretrial for March 14th at 1 p.m. I'm gonna set a new readiness hearing for May 9th at 2 p.m. I'm going to set a new jury trial for May 22nd at 9 a.m. at the courthouse. The first two of you are done. We'll send over the paperwork and you will be processed out. Thank you, Ms. Dooley.
Okay, Ms. Dooley, Ms. Dooley, you have a phone, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, when you get out, can you please call the office and make an appointment? Your attorney's name is Savannah Williams. That's who you met with back before, so that's still your attorney. Okay?
Jeremiah Hughes, Your Honor.
Okay, we're gonna jump these guys born.
Okay.
Here we go. Are we
Yeah.
ready? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please buckle your seatbelts. This is going to be a bumpy PPO.
Ms. Young?
Yes,
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be true and correct?
yes, ma'am, I do.
Thank you, Ms. Young. You put your hand down. All right, Ms. Smith,
Yes, ma'am, I do.
you put your hand down, and Mr. Freeman,
Yes, ma'am, I do.
you put your hand down. All right, Ms. Young, I need you to come back.
I'm back.
Here
Okay,
we go,
if you
Cha.
if we can get if someone's helping her with technology, if we can get the camera so I can see her face and not the light on the ceiling, please.
Okay, turn that light off in the ceiling. Turn it.
see you?
I mean, it's
Yeah.
not bad. It's fine. I guess I can sort of, I really can't see you. Can we put the phone closer to you or the computer?
Okay, I got it close to me.
Okay, it's when the light is behind you that I can't see you, so.
Now, can you see now?
Much better. Thank you, ma'am. All right, ma'am, I'm going to start with you. If you can please tell me your full name.
Carol Lynette Young.
All right, Miss Young, is someone in the room with you?
My daughter,
Okay, is she going to be testifying?
no, but my brother is here on another line.
Or what's his name?
Willie Honor, Willie Allen Honor.
Okay, all right. So even though someone's in the room, I don't want anyone telling you what to say, okay?
Oh, nobody don't have to tell me what to say.
All right, okay. Ma'am, how old are you?
67.
Okay. And how do you know Miss Smith?
She's my brother's step daughter, but she claims and say that she's his real daughter. She's his stepdaughter.
All right, so it's your brother's stepdaughter, so she's your niece?
Yes.
Would have been easier
Okay.
to say that.
And do you know how old she is?
How old is Michelle Willie?
No. No.
He's on the other line. He's my brother.
Ma'am, I just want to hear from you. If he is going to testify, he needs to log on to Zoom and I will talk to him separately, okay?
Okay.
He can't be like on the phone and talking to me that way.
All right, log him on Zoom. Okay, I think she's about 40,
Okay.
41.
It's fine if you don't know for sure. Okay, and ma'am, has Miss Young ever lived with you?
Miss Young?
I'm sorry, Miss Smith.
Yeah, she stayed with me and my brother.
Okay, how long has she lived with you?
She lived there for about 1.5 years. She wasn't supposed to be there but 2 weeks.
Okay. Has she been removed as a result of the temporary protective order?
Yeah, she been removed, but she was supposed to move out in 2 weeks after she got there, but she started moving people into our home because my brother rent rooms. And she started moving people into his home and all
Okay.
on with her friends and dope guys and
Ma'am,
garbage carrying guard.
ma'am, I just asked if she was removed with the TPO, okay?
Yes.
All right. So tell me why you filed your petition for a protective order. This is related to incidents of family violence or threats of violence against you, okay?
Yeah, I filed the protection order because I take care of my older brother because he's 74 years old and I'm 67. I took care of all 9 of my brothers. I just got 2 left. I filed the order because her boyfriend and herself, they walk around there with guns. They try to tell you what to do and they take over. And Mr. Freeman got 3 guns. He carried 1 in both front pockets and the other one just lay around. And this particular day was New Year's Day. My brother and his wife is in a wheelchair with his wife. So when he cooked the food, he take it upstairs and he take it upstairs to finish cooking it upstairs because the stove is downstairs, the hot plate is upstairs. She went outside, Michelle, and got her dog and let him run up and down the steps and he messed on the steps. My brother had been drinking that by this being a holiday. He had been drinking. When he got the black eyed peas off the stove in the pot, he was on his way up the steps and he messed. He tripped and fell where the dog had messed on the steps. And he fell backwards and burnt himself in his chest with a big old hot pot of peas and had to go and grade a burn unit for about 1.5 weeks. And when he burnt himself, she called the police. She called the ambulance and stuff and sent him to the hospital, didn't go with him or nothing. And then my cousin called me and told me that my brother had got burned and stuff.
Ma'am, I want to talk to you about something, okay? I want to know about what has happened to you, not what has happened to your brother. I want to know what has happened.
And when I went over there to see about my brother, Michelle and her friend was fussing at me because I told him I was going to take out a TPO. Her friend had the gun. He didn't draw it on me, but he had him on the side talking about I better not take out no PTO. And Michelle was talking about how she'll jump on me and everything if I took out PTO and stuff. And she always have us. And they always got mad with me because I asked her to stop the dope man from coming there because the neighbors next door were complaining about the dope man coming there all times of night. And they threatened to put me and my brother out because the peoples can't get up and go to work. They can't send their kids to school because they sit out all times of night.
Okay, ma'am, let me ask you a couple questions. Do you live with your brother?
Yeah, I live there, but I come home sometime to be with my boyfriend. But I'm scared to live there with him and her because we older people, they're younger people, and they really had us scared.
Okay, but ma'am, you have lived with them?
I live with him.
Okay, you
I
live with
just come over here to be with my boyfriend.
Okay, and but your residence is with your brother?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and is it your brother's house?
It's my brother's house, but he rent rooms, and we weren't able to rent no more room because she moved all her friends in, and told me if I say anything.
What do you mean he rents rooms? Is this a pad split?
It's
Is it a
a
rooming
room.
house?
He run a boarding house, but it's his house.
He owns it?
He rent from the owner. He rented from the owner, and the owner wanted her out of there because of the dope man and stuff. And I wanted out because of how she tried to fight me every time I asked her not to let the dope man come in there, and her boyfriend walk around with the guns and stuff.
Okay, you said that Miss Smith tries to fight you. What do you mean? What does she do?
She'll push on me, but she'll
Where does she push on you? Where does she push on you?
On my shoulder, I'll be in the kitchen or whatever.
She pushes on your shoulder when you talk to her about.
She didn't do it but one time, but she telling me how she'll jump on me and stuff. It's mostly a lot of fussing until they tripped my brother, until they brought the dog in and he made my brother get hurt.
So the jumping, she says that she's going to jump on you?
Yeah, if I take out a PTO, we telling about they got guns and stuff in there. And the dope man in the white van always coming. She don't want me to say nothing to him. If I say something to him, she gonna beat my ass and all that kind of stuff.
How many times has she threatened you, would you say?
She's threatened me about 6 or 7 times. Every time she see me, I have to tip in there. And because my brother's upstairs, I have to tip in there when I don't be there. When I go there, I have to tip in there because if she know I'm in there, she started stuff, no matter what time of night it is.
So you said it's your brother rents rooms. Do people share the kitchen space and the living space?
Yeah, because he was only renting to the guys that he worked with, when he was working. He was only renting to them until she moved in and moved all her friends in.
So when, so you're saying one time she pushed you on your shoulder and she has threatened to jump on you or beat you about 6 or 7 times is what you're saying?
Yeah, if I keep on telling the dope man don't come there, he drive a white van. And he come there all times of night. And then the neighbors complaining with me and my brother.
Yeah, I'm just summing up sort of what you're saying that Miss Young has done. So can you tell me about Miss Freeman, Mr. Freeman?
Mr. Freeman always standing back to back her up with, he got 3 guns. And told me I better not never turn. I better not never say nothing else to nobody that come there to see him.
Can you say that again,
He don't even
please?
supposed to be living there.
I'm sorry, I don't know what you said. He said what to you?
He threatened me and saying, I better not say nothing else to nobody that come there to see him. But he don't even supposed to be living there.
And what was that threat? What did that mean to you? Why did you take that as a threat?
I took it as a threat because it's dope man and he's on powder. And he got mad with me because I told his friend that he couldn't come there. Excuse me. I told him that he couldn't come there all times of night like that because the neighbor was complaining. He told me to sit my old ass down before he shoot me. I feel like that's a threat. And it's other people in the house that
So
know.
Mr. Freeman's threatened to shoot you?
He talking about I better sit my old ass down before he shoot me.
That's what he said to you?
Yes, that's what he said to me. My brother Willie was there and all the other guys. You can talk to Willie James.
When did that happen?
It happened several times. He didn't never draw no gun at me, nothing to hurt me, but the dope man come there just about every night, all night in a white van.
Ma'am,
And
when
he
did he
said, if I
threaten?
say something to him.
Miss Young, when did he threaten to shoot you approximately?
He threatened to shoot me. He threatened to shoot me in one occasion.
And when was that? Like this month?
It was about 2 months ago before my brother got burned. And the dope man and the white man continued to come there, and the neighbor continued to complain.
All right. Okay. All right. Okay.
I'm gonna pass out.
Miss
Smith.
Miss Smith, do
Yes,
you
that's me.
have any questions that you want me to ask?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, hang on a second. Hang on. You're going to have a chance to testify. So I don't want to hear testimony right now. I want to hear questions that you talk to me about, and then I will decide if I'm going to ask them or if they need to be reframed. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
What is your question for Miss Young?
I want to know, why is she lying? Because first off,
Okay, that's not a question.
So why is she lying on me saying I put her?
Ma'am, that's really not a question that we're going to ask in court. I understand that you obviously have a different account of what has happened, and I will hear from you. Do you have a specific question that you want me to ask her?
Well, basically, I want you to ask her why she's saying she lived there. She never lived there.
All right. It sounds like you just need to testify. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. That's all.
That's fine. Okay. All right, Miss Young, if you can go ahead. Well, let me ask you this, Miss Young. Do you have any exhibits that you need us to look at, or do you have any witnesses you want to present?
Yeah, my brother Willie Arnold and Willie James and Shay. Those are the guys.
Have they logged into Zoom?
Huh?
Have you given them the Zoom link?
Yes, I sent it to them.
Yes, and my brother Ricky Reed. She sent the Zoom to their phone.
All right, let's see if they're here. Is there anyone in the waiting room that seems to?
In what waiting room?
No, I'm not speaking with you right now.
No, Judge, I don't see anybody.
All right, well, if they show up before we finish the hearing, I will hear from them, but I'm going to go ahead and proceed to hearing from the respondents at this time. I understand that some other witnesses may show up, but they need to show up. They need to show up very quickly. Okay.
Well, excuse me, Judge, Your Honor. Well, you still gonna talk to my brother and his witness, the people that stay in the house with us?
If they log on to Zoom, and they can, but they have to log on very quickly.
Well, see, I'm not a person that read, but my daughter is logging them on. Kelly, who did you log on so far?
I told Willie to join.
What's going on over there, Willie? Get the
Willie
black
can
eyed peas off
join,
the
Ricky
dog
can
mess,
join,
Willie.
then you send it to Rick too?
I only need to hear from people who have actually witnessed things happen to you.
Willie Ellen Arnold.
Okay.
Willie.
Then that's who I need to hear from. I don't need to hear from people about other things that happen to other people.
Okay, she sent it to Willie Arnold.
Who are these people?
If you all see him in the waiting room, will you all let me know?
Did you log in for him? You gotta go to Zoom.
He gotta go to Zoom.
No, go to his email and click the
Okay, she She added Willie Allen on.
He said he trying to do it.
Can you add him on?
I can add him on my phone.
I'm sorry, ma'am. I muted you because there was so much noise. Can you hit unmute?
She muted her. She gave her a mute. This is the best. This is fantastic.
Ma'am, I cannot hear you. I'm sorry. I muted you. I'm talking to Miss Young.
Biz Marquis telling you to turn the mute off. That's Biz Marquis, isn't it?
Huh? Oh,
You got what I need.
Judge, Your Honor, you can talk
You say it's a PPO,
to Willie now.
but Willie's got to go.
No, you can talk to him. You muted the phone. They finna join. They trying to get on there now as we speak.
Judge,
Yes,
now tell her what you just said.
I heard her.
Oh,
I
okay.
heard her.
She said they on now. You can talk to them. It's Willie Honor and Ricky Reed.
Are these people actually going to appear?
No, I don't see anyone in the waiting room.
These are all figments of her imagination.
All right, I'm just going to take this out of order because we need to get going. Okay, so I'm going to hear from Miss Young, and not Miss Young, Miss Smith, and then if your witnesses join, I'll hear from them. Okay.
All right.
All right, Miss Young, not Miss Young, Miss Smith. You can go ahead and unmute. You've already been sworn. What do you want to tell me in response to these allegations about?
Okay.
Go ahead.
First off, the dog never runs around the house because she's too big. And she is vicious. So she don't like little kids.
Okay, the dog, I
never
want
want
what you've done. Okay, if
I
the
never
allegations that she says you've done, that's what I want to
I
hear.
never once put my hands on her. Because if I would have, she would have called the police then. I never once pulled a gun on her. And the guns that she said we had, they are them little beanball guns. You know, the little splatter guns that you buy at Walmart. It's like the little Arby beans guns. We be shooting them at each other. They are like water guns. They are not violent guns. As far as me ever put my hands on Mr. Arnold, I've never did that. I've taken up for Mr. Arnold. And as far as her saying, when he got burnt, I took care of him. I have the videos where I was bathing him to get all the wraps and stuff off of him. I went upstairs 2-3 times a day to change his bandages. She does not live there. She live on Candler Road. This is not the first TPO this lady has taken out on people. This is what she does to get her way. And as far as him falling on some dog mess, that is not true. He was drunk when he fell down those steps.
Well, we're not here about that right now, so it doesn't. That's
whatever she's saying I did. You can check my record. I don't have a violent record. So for her to be lying on me like this, when all of this, I want to press charges on her for the declamation of character and filing a false police report on me because I have not done nothing until now. I wanted them. If he wanted me out of his house, all he had to do was tell me to move. And for me bringing other people in his house, everybody that came to that house paid him rent. They have cash apps where they paid him rent. And for me having an adult boy coming to his house, I don't do drugs. So there's nobody coming to his house to see me. And the white van that she's talking about comes to see my best friend because that is her boyfriend. And he works in the daytime. When he get off at night, he comes see her.
Okay.
She never lived at that house.
Have you, she also said that you have threatened her. What about that?
That's a lie, ma'am. I've never threatened that lady. Me and her argue, we block each other on the phone, and then we unblock each other, and we laugh about it. I have never, ever put my hands on this lady, nor have I ever threatened to hurt her. As far as me putting my hands on Willie Honor, I love that man with all of my heart. I would never hurt that man. This lady, pull her name up. This lady has so many TPOs on people. This is what she do to get them out of her house or out of whoever house that wants her to help them. This is what she does. She will put a TPO on you if you don't get her money for crack and she was smoking dope. This is what this lady does. That is my aunt. I love her, but she's a compulsive liar. That lady has never stayed there. And if far as somebody calling her from over there where we used to live at, them people don't even know this lady.
Okay. Anything else, ma'am?
And as far as some pictures or anything, that room is junky because I was in the process of packing up my stuff to move.
Okay.
And I paid this man every month. And Daryl Cheese can be a witness that my dog never ran through the house. Nita Hope can be a witness. And for us drug dealers, the man Chris, who stay upstairs, they call him Knockabout. That's who smoked drugs in that house. That's who them drug dealers come.
That's a cool name. Knockabout. Yo, we're Knockabout.
You see, they don't come see me and my family. I'm 6 years sober.
Good for you.
Okay. All right. So are you all not living there right now?
No, because they removed me. And that was my primary source of residence with my 9-year-old daughter. I had to borrow money to get somewhere for me and my child to stay.
Okay.
And far as Tydrick, those, like I said, those are the little Orby guns. Tydrick is not a violent person. Tydrick is the quietest person in that house. Him and my dad would actually get drunk together. He would buy my dad looking beer. My dad would buy him looking beer.
Okay.
All of this is because she wanted me out that house. That's all he had to say. Well, babe, I want you out my house. I would have left. They didn't have to do all of this to get me out their house, ma'am. I have never done anything to them people.
All right. So have you found a new place to live?
No, I have not, ma'am. I'm in a hotel room right now. I'm in a hotel room right now.
Okay.
Because when they removed me from the house, I didn't have nowhere to go. I called my little brother and asked him, can he get me a room for me and my child to have somewhere to stay?
Okay. All right. Thank you, Miss Smith. If I can hear from Mr. Freeman now.
Here you go.
Here comes Willie.
Man, how you doing?
Hi, Mr. Freeman. Did you hear Miss Young's testimony?
I heard it, but I'm gonna say first off.
Hang on, I asked you if you heard her testimony.
Yes, man, I heard it.
Okay, so what I'm going to ask you now is to tell me what your response is to the allegations about violence or threats of violence to her. Go ahead.
First off, ma'am, I don't know her. I see her when she come. Well, I be in my room. I work, ma'am. I ain't got time to be dealing with no people. I don't know her like that or whatnot. I see when she come past or whatever comes, go to her brother or whatnot. But me personally, I don't do none of that.
Hey.
I don't know what she talking about. I don't know what she talking about, and I know good well. Me personally, I know.
Hang on a second.
No.
Miss Smith, I don't want to hear from you right now. Okay.
No.
Just let me hear from Mr. Freeman.
I'm talking for myself, ma'am, because I'm being honest. I work. I don't be nobody's business. I'm a learner. I'm a loner. I know deal with people.
Okay.
You know
Hang
what
on.
I
Let
mean?
me ask you some questions. Okay.
And then my name get into it. Why I got?
Mr. Freeman, I don't know if you're having trouble hearing me. I want to ask you some questions now. Okay.
You go ahead, ma'am.
Thank you. Okay. Mr. Freeman, do you have any guns?
No, ma'am, I do not.
I
don't own no weapons, ma'am. I do not.
Okay. Do you know what Miss Young is referring to when she says that she saw
I
you
don't
with
know
guns?
I don't know what Miss Young referring to, but she's saying what she's saying, and somebody's saying what they saying, but I don't own no weapons, and they ain't never seen me with no weapons.
Okay.
Cause I don't be out be out at her. I be by myself. If I get out of work, I'm coming home, eat, sleep, and go to sleep, and wake up and go back to work the next day.
Okay. Does Miss Young live at the same place you live?
No, ma'am, she do not stay there, nor her brother. They just come over there and visit sometimes.
The brother doesn't live there?
Yes, who her brother name is? Young and her brother just come over there and visit. They do not stay over there. They just stay there, ma'am.
Who
And
are
I'm
they
being honest.
visiting? Who are they visiting?
Yes, ma'am, I'm listening.
I said, who are they visiting when they come over?
They only visit her brother. That's all.
So are there multiple brothers here?
Just Ricky and Willie. That's all.
Who lives there? Which
Guys, this is baby time.
Hi.
This is the little lady. This is baby time. She's dying to say hello. She watches.
brother lives there?
Get out of here now.
Willie on. He won't live there.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you
This
both.
judge is spent. This judge is spent.
But I also do have a witness too, though, that's coming in and finna tell you what's the truth. Cause I'm trying to tell you that ain't the truth. They lying.
All right. So is your witness in yet? Do we have any witnesses in
ma'am.
the waiting room yet?
Wait, right now.
Yes. So the petitioner's witness, Mr. Willie Arnold, I see him in.
All right. Let's bring him in.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need everybody else to mute, and we're gonna hear from Mr. Willie Arnold.
Please mute. Take a breath after that one. Yikes. They're going to get Willie. He's cleaning up the dog mess and the black-eyed peas.
Connect.
See a lady at the top.
Willie Arnold is not connected to audio.
Wait a minute, he's talking to you now.
You said
I
what?
love
You
mass
said what?
confusion. I love it.
Okay, well, yeah.
That's her. He see a lady at the top of his screen.
You see at the bottom where it say the video camera and the little microphone thing? Turn it on.
Didn't he say he see the lady at the top of the screen?
Yeah.
He got to look at the bottom of the screen and turn the microphone and the video on. Tanya can do it. She did mine.
Where?
I got John the meeting on.
Where?
Ma'am, he got joined the meeting on there.
Yes, you gotta join it.
Yeah, he needs to join. He's not connected, so he's not gonna be able to hear anything.
Okay, I am back, okay.
Who is
He
this?
said he missed okay.
So well, you gotta turn the microphone on, right?
Yeah, he need to turn audio and video.
You need to turn the audio and the video on. You don't see it at the bottom.
It should be at the bottom. If you don't see it, if he's on the phone right now and he don't see it, it's probably because it's a smaller view. So he might have to go to the three dots where it says more
Teacher.
and then click on that and then try and hit the see the microphone and camera.
Hold on, I'm gonna hang up. You're gonna say, you're gonna have the little microphone and the video at the bottom. Just click it to where you can see and hear.
All right, that's all I got for it. And I got part 2 coming up for you. I'm still editing part 2, so probably on the next live I'll give you part 2. All right, so let's jump to we're gonna jump to Judge Dad. Jump to Judge Dad. Judge Dad never disappoints. He catches somebody. Oh, he catches a stalker. Oh, baby, he catches a stalker.
Did you see Mr. Crane on your way into the courthouse today?
As I was walking in, he pulled in his mom's Jeep. Like he was pulling in right as I was walking in.
How long have you two been together?
Would be almost 5 years.
And you said, Mr. McCarty is correct. You did say, I believe it was.
Guys, I think there's still some memberships left if you want to hit that green button up there. Our boy Rob gave us 50 memberships, and I think there's some left.
His voice.
Yes.
I don't know what that means. I want to be sure. Are you certain, 100%
Just the tone, the way it was said to me, like I believe it was him. Just the way it was said, the tone in the voice, the sound.
Do you have any other questions?
What did you hear before leave?
It was just leave.
Anything else?
And then hung up.
Anything else?
No, you don't have.
You can step down.
Okay.
Do you have any other witnesses that you want to present? Any other witnesses you want me to make come up here and testify?
Well, to the extent necessary, I'd like this detective to look at this. My concern is your honor.
Okay, so here we
I'm not
go.
prosecuting. I'm gonna ask this witness to tell me what happened.
Okay, so here's the setup. What had happened was this guy has a hearing, and during the hearing, he was observed, and the person that has the protective order against him told that he was texting her while in the courthouse. Judge Dad ain't having it, and he calls him up, and this becomes a you-know-what show very quickly.
I already heard from an officer. She either lied to him, in which case she's gonna have a big problem with
No,
me.
there's not a lot, there's no lie.
Okay, state your name, ma'am.
Kayla Dupla.
Raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm under penalty of perjury the testimony you will give in these proceedings will be the whole truth to help you God.
Yes.
Have a seat.
Your Honor,
Yes, sir.
if I may, I do have a little bit of information that just came to light since we've been here at court to add
Okay.
to this that I'd like to share with you, so you're aware.
Mr. Crane, you can have a seat, sir. Sure.
Since I entered the courtroom, the victim advocate wanted to talk to me along with the victim. It was brought to my attention that the victim received a phone call at 1:46 since she was here at the courthouse.
No way.
This is what's reported to me, Your Honor. It was from a phone number other than the defendant, but it was the defendant's voice recognized by the victim that said one word, the word leave.
All right. You can have a seat right there.
Thanks.
Tell me your name again.
Kayla Dupla.
All right, so you were in court on Tuesday, right?
Yes.
We had a hearing regarding a possible violation of the no contact provision, correct?
Yes.
Have you had any contact at all with Mr. Crane since that date? And I'm talking about since he was in court and you were in court with me and the prosecutor and Mr. McCarty and the officer in charge on Tuesday.
I haven't had contact with him, but he tried to get contact with me.
Tell me what happened.
I went to turn my phone on to check if, in the
Nice and
morning,
loud for me. They have to hear you too.
to check if my daughter's dentist called me back because she has a dentist appointment that I found out on February 21st. And when I turned the phone on to look, there was a text message from Tuesday at 6:06 saying, "What are you doing?"
AM or PM?
PM.
And do you know what number that text was from?
Stevens,
Are you certain of that?
100%.
And what did it say exactly?
What you doing?
Do you have your phone?
It's here.
You still have the message?
Yes. Can I get it and show you?
Yes.
Can I bring it to you?
No, you just stay there for a second.
Thank you.
And you're telling me that that was at 6:06, correct?
Yeah, 6:06 p.m. on Tuesday.
In the exact words were, what are you doing?
What you doing?
What you doing?
Mhm.
WHATCHA.
And then doing, DOIN.
Did you have any other contact?
No, I didn't answer it. I did what you told me to do, which was contact. I tried contacting the court and got a hold of Laura. I contacted Rachel, and then I went to the Trenton Police Department and made the report.
Did he, to your knowledge, did he attempt to contact you in any other form or fashion?
Today, when I was sitting in the courtroom,
What time was that?
this was at 1:40.
What phone number did that call come in from?
734-508-2766.
Did you answer that phone call?
This phone does not let you answer on just the speaker, so you have to put it on, the loudspeaker, and I had Anna Duclo answer it because I was nervous. No one's been calling this phone except the court. So I had her answer it, and blank full day, Stephen's words, leave.
Is there any question in your mind but that it was his voice?
No.
And this happened at what time?
At 1:40.
Give me that phone number again. Read that into the record, that phone number.
734-508-2766.
Did you, when the person told you to leave on the other end, who you're identifying as the defendant, Stephen Crean, did you respond in any form or fashion?
It hung up the moment after it said leave.
Where were you sitting at the time?
I was sitting in one of the little rooms outside, right next to a vending machine.
Next to what?
It's like the room next to the vending machine out there. I was already in the courtroom, already in the court.
Any questions, Mr. McCarty?
Oh, yeah, certainly. Now, you testified that there was a text sent to you at 6:06 p.m. This past Tuesday saying, what you doing?
Yes.
And what was the most recent text before that one?
Sir, I went to text him on Monday, January 23rd at 7:40, and
Okay.
it didn't go through.
So that Monday, January 23rd was the morning of the alleged incident, correct?
Yes.
In fact, roughly a half hour or so before the alleged incident, correct?
Yeah.
So between Monday, January 23rd, and when we were in court on Tuesday, there was absolutely no text whatsoever
Until 6:06.
until 6:06. What you
After
doing?
court.
Okay,
What
I
you
understand that. Okay. And if you look in your history as it relates to texting with Mr. Crane, your recent history, it goes from blue to green to green to blue to blue to green. Can you explain to the court what that's all about?
Stephen has full control over this phone. And when it's not on a Wi-Fi, it will show up green and it will not go through. So that means the text I sent him January 23rd never went through.
Okay. And you have also a capacity or capability anyways to block him.
And he's not.
Okay. And so the fact that he's not blocked, at least evidence is there was no attempts to contact you between January 23rd, before charges were ever even filed, and Tuesday, correct?
Except at the school.
Well, and then that wasn't a text, ma'am.
No, but that was an
Okay.
attempt.
I'm sorry?
That was an attempt in my form of finding me.
Well, it's certainly no secret where you were. I mean, you go to the school every day, right?
Yeah. As the mother of my child.
Right, okay. Okay, so going back to 1:40 this afternoon, you say that call came in? Or
Yes.
1:46?
1:40.
1:40, okay. And you lost me a little bit about your testimony. How did you answer that call?
This phone, the speaker doesn't work, so it has to be on speakerphone.
Okay,
Anna answered it on speakerphone inside of that little room.
okay, Anna being the victim's advocate?
No, as a
Okay.
witness.
Okay. A witness in this
Well,
case?
If she needs to be, yes.
Which I
She's the one that answered the phone when that number came through.
Is Anna Sophie's aunt?
Well, yes,
So she's a listed witness in this case.
Yes.
Judge,
Wait, you gotta keep your voice.
Yes.
Can we sequester that witness, Judge, if she's?
Sure.
Thank
I'll
you.
be happy to order that. No, sequestered. You're gonna have to have a seat out in the hall, man. Let me clarify one thing. You said 508-2766. What were the first numbers? The area code.
734.
Okay, I just wanted to be sure.
Okay, so because your phone has a certain malfunction, you have to put it on speaker to hear the caller on the other end.
Yes.
Okay, and when that happened, you overheard somebody say leave.
And yes, and then it directly hung up. They did.
Okay, and it's your testimony that you recognize that as being Steve's voice.
Yes.
Okay. So it's, you attribute Steve to be the caller behind the 734-508-2766 number.
Yes.
Do you know where Steve was at 140?
No, I was in a room.
Would it surprise you to learn that he was in my vehicle in the parking lot?
No,
That wouldn't surprise you.
I don't know where he would be.
Okay. You ever sent anybody a text by accident or have an unintended recipient?
No.
No, you've never done that? Never meant to text one person and then accidentally text another?
No.
Okay, thank you. No further witness, or no, further questions of this witness.
And there's no question in your mind, but that was Mr. Crane. This is really important.
Yes,
I'm talking about the phone call this afternoon.
yes, I believe it was him. His voice, just the direct words of leave and then hung up. Like there couldn't even be a word said after he said leave, and it was just hung up.
All right, you can, unless you have another question, you can step down. Do you have any other questions? You can have a seat.
you.
Do you want to call somebody?
I do, Mr. Crane.
Okay.
Get your phone.
Is Mr. Ramsayer's client out there?
Yes.
Mr. Ramsayer, you
My
ready?
client's on Zoom, Your Honor.
Yeah, just, Mr. McCarty, give me a minute, okay?
Yes, sir.
I want to get Mr. Ramsayer out of here. You go against Thomas Robert Anthony Gerhardt, 2PT-638-364.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Ryan Ramsey on behalf of Mr. Gerhardt, who should be appearing via Zoom from Arizona.
Mr. Gerhardt, your name?
Thomas.
I'm sorry, I didn't pick you up, sir.
Thomas Gerhardt.
All right, so this is going to be a plea to operating while impaired with the OWI to be dismissed, true?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Is that what you want to do, Mr. Gerhardt?
Yes, Your Honor.
So I'm gonna
If you plead guilty,
go
here
to
the
Gerhardt. He
possible
took a
penalties are up
break.
to $300 in fines, 93 days jail, 360 hours community service. Can you get the witness, please?
Okay, so now he's calling the stalker and the defendant up, and he's gonna get grilled now.
There is, well, actually, she's already done. I'm sorry. Get the detective. Mr. Crane, come on up here. I'm going to swear you in. Raise your right hand. You solemnly swear affirm under penalties of perjury. The testimony you'll give in these proceedings will be the whole truth, so help you God.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Have a seat. Can you just wait 1 second? I at least want the detective in here. All right, so now I have Detective Cavazos. You can go ahead and proceed, Mr. McCarty.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Crane, can you say your name for the record?
Stephen Michael Crane.
Mr. Crane, I want to focus your attention to the circumstances of Tuesday of this week, that being February 14th. Do you recall that day?
Yes, sir.
You recall being in court that morning?
100% I do, sir.
Okay, do you recall having a bond violation hearing relative to whether or not you saw the complaining witness in this case and smiled and waved at her?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you understood the court?
Listen,
Sir.
listen. You're not gonna help yourself if you don't just answer his questions.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Judge. You heard the judge's ruling in that regard.
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, sir.
That, I mean, to paraphrase it quite a bit, if you so much as like fart in her direction, you're going to jail.
He said
Yes.
fart.
You
I love
understood
it.
that?
Yes,
I'm
sir.
such a child.
Okay.
He said
What'd you do
fart.
later on that afternoon?
I left court. When I left court, I went to work, got out of work. I got home to my mother's house at about 5:50, 5:55-ish.
Okay, when you got to your mother's house, what did you learn?
I found out that my youngest, my 7-year-old, had 101.5 fever, and my 12-year-old had a massive ear problem, ear infection, earache.
Okay, and your oldest daughter, what is her name?
Kylie Crane,
Kylie's 11,
12,
12, and your younger daughter is
Kristen,
how old's Kristen?
7,
Does Kylie have an iPhone, Android, or none of the above?
iPhone, sir.
And how about Kristen?
Android, sir.
Okay, and where were you when you learned of their illness, right, for a better term?
When I came home, as soon as I walked in the door, when I got to my mother, she had let me know. So I walked in to see my daughters, and Kristen was laying down sleeping still, and Kylie was laying in the dark room, and then I went downstairs, sir.
Okay, so you learned of their situation a little before 6 p.m.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and then you went down to the basement.
Yeah, to get my work clothes off.
Okay, and at some point, did you text either one of your daughters regarding whatever was on your mind?
Yes, sir.
And who did you text?
At first,
Look at Judge
it was
Dad.
Kristen asking what she was doing upstairs.
Okay, and you recall exactly what your text was?
Yes, sir.
And what was it?
To Kristen, it was what you're doing upstairs, and then I believe it was you have to wake up, because she was laying down and I didn't want her to sleep through the evening.
Well, would it refresh your recollection if you were to look at your phone and see exactly what you texted and when?
Yes, sir.
May I approach the witness, Judge?
Sure.
And what did you text Kristen on Tuesday?
Oh, what you doing upstairs? You need to come. You need to get up, sweetheart.
Okay, at what time did you text Kristen that?
6:08.
Okay, so at 6:08, you texted, what you doing upstairs?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and then when was the next text rather?
Counsel, wait a minute.
6:11.
Slow down, 1 second. I just noticed the victim back in here with the victim's advocate. I just want to be clear, you only wanted the other person out, right? Or not?
Well, I think they both should be.
Well, I don't disagree. You're gonna have to go out. I'm sorry. Go ahead, you're out.
Oh, thank you, Judge. So at 6:08 p.m., you texted Kristen. How do you spell Kristen?
Kristen.
How do you spell Kylie?
Kyle.
How do you spell Kayla?
Kayla.
Okay.
Is this a spelling
So at
bee?
6:08, you texted your daughter Kristen. Let me just get it. What you doing upstairs? And what you was WATCHA, doing upstairs, correct?
Yes, sir.
And then 3 minutes, you didn't get a response to that?
No, sir.
3 minutes later, you texted, you need to get up, sweetheart.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, did you also text your mother as it relates to that particular time period when you didn't get a response from Kristen
Sean, thank you so much.
and she was sick?
Yes, sir.
Did that concern you?
Yes, sir.
Why did you text your mom and when?
I believe it was around 6:11.
Let's not believe. Look at your phone
Yes,
and
sir.
tell me when you texted your mom.
I texted my mom at. Sorry, sir. I texted her At 6:11, is Kristen up?
Okay, and your mom replied when?
At 6:12 and said, yep.
Okay,
And then I wrote at 6:12 also, I was gonna come up to wake her up, sorry.
okay, so at least by then you understood whatever you were inquiring about Kristen, whether she was up, she had to get up. You were satisfied in your mind that that
Yes, sir.
situation was taken care of. Now, I want to take your attention back to 6:06.
Yes, sir.
2 minutes before you tested Kristen, what you doing upstairs, you tested what you doing to Kayla, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
Did you tell the judge the circumstances of how you texted Kayla? You haven't texted with her since January 22nd, how all of a sudden after court you texted what you doing?
Your Honor, excuse me. I was very shook and distraught with court. I went to work. I seen my daughters, they were sick. I went in, excuse me. I went in my phone, I hit K. I was trying to text my daughter. I realized, wrote what shit, and I seen doing. I realized it went blue. So, and I seen it wasn't Kristen. I honestly tried to hit X to erase the message, and I hit return. It sent the message. I immediately freaked out, went into my phone, tried to delete the message, thinking that it wouldn't send. It did not say delivered. And then that's when I proceeded to text my daughter to make sure my kids were okay. I thought I caught it in time.
Okay, so you screwed up at 6:06.
I'm not quite understanding though. You went to text your daughter.
Yes, sir.
You saw that you accidentally texted Kate.
Well, as I was texting her.
Am I right or not? I want to understand.
Well, after I wrote what you're doing, I realized that it was Kayla and not Kristen.
Okay.
And I tried, if you look on the iPhone, so where the X is, there's a blue bump below it. I instantly started shaking because I realized I was not Kayla, and I promised to the court I would try to hit X. And I sent it on accident, and then I went into my phone trying to stop it because it did not show delivered, so I thought I was still blocked, like I had that on the phone. I did not know I was even unblocked. I tried to erase it to stop the message from going, Your Honor. I did not intentionally, I was more worried about my kids than I was showing you. Your Honor, I heard what you said loud and clear. I have full custody of both my daughters, and I was not trying to make you look stupid or anything. I did not mean to disrespect the court. It was 100% accident because my kids had 101.5 fever. She was laying down, and it was just a very bad day, sir.
Sir, and if you were to give your phone to this detective right now, would you be okay with him doing a forensic analysis of that phone?
You can have my phone,
you
sir.
Can dump it right this afternoon and find out
100%.
what exactly you did in that regard.
100%.
So you sent a text to Kayla, correct?
Yes, sir.
You didn't mean to?
No, sir.
Okay.
I have too much to lose right now. I would not disrespect you, Your Honor. I promise you.
Okay.
It's not a question of disrespecting me.
No, I understand, Your Honor. Well, I know, I didn't.
It has nothing to do with it.
No, I meant, or to even contact her. That's what I meant, sir.
Point well taken. Again, aside from any respect, you did not intend to contact Kayla. In fact, your intention was to the absolute contrary.
I
not to have anything to do with her. Okay, I'd like to draw your attention to the circumstances of this afternoon. Okay, you and I were speaking by phone as I was heading to this court from my location in Howell, correct?
Yes, sir.
And I told you my estimated arrival time, correct?
Yes, sir.
And when I pulled up, I had you come in my vehicle, correct?
Yes, sir.
And we discussed how it is that when you went to text somebody with a starting initial.
Listen, I know there's no prosecutor here, but still, you can kind of not lead quiz.
Okay. So we discussed the allegation of unintended recipient of a text.
Yes, sir.
Letters with a K, correct?
Yes, sir.
And using your phone, we showed how you could go to text John, but hit median spells.
You're leading.
Okay, so you sent me a text from your phone in my car?
That's leading.
Okay, what did you do in my car?
When you pulled
Dad's
up,
giving
so
advice.
Camera, you pulled up
You're
next to me and
leading.
my mother. I got in your car. We started discussing. There's text right here that you texted from my phone at 1:39 saying, "Hey, John," just to show it go through your phone so you can understand the green and the blue, or yes, the green and the blue matter of the text messages.
And how somebody could mistake John for Jeff or Jay.
Yes, sir.
And that is at what time?
1:39, sir.
Okay, so your phone says 1:39, my phone would say 1:39.
Yes,
And
sir.
supposedly a minute later, You called Kayla?
Counsel, come on.
Counsel,
Okay,
come
so
on.
you were in my car for how long?
Roughly 5 minutes, and then we're on camera coming in,
Okay,
sir.
so whatever the camera shows out there as to when we pulled up and when we entered the court was how long you were in my car, aside from the time that you texted me at 1:39.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You didn't cause anybody to call Kayla. You didn't call Kayla.
No, sir.
In fact, if you look at your phone, there's not going to be any phone calls since the time you were in my vehicle.
No, sir.
Okay, I have nothing further.
Do you know who's the owner of the phone by any chance? I'm just asking.
No, sir, I do not.
This, you haven't even let me finish.
Oh,
my
I'm sorry.
question. Of 734-508-2766. Do you know?
No, sir, I do not.
McNally's getting up there with my top 10 guys.
I use number. I do not recall anybody with that. I can look in my phone contacts, but I do not know that number. No, sir. I would never have anybody call either.
You're
Sir.
telling us that you did not call Kayla and say leave.
No, sir, I did not.
Do you know who did?
No, sir, I do not.
Your Honor, at the,
They'll get a call you as a witness, but you can probably do it right here.
yeah.
No, I wanted to be a witness. I wanted to be a witness.
Okay, well, I have no further questions. If Your Honor.
It's either you love it or you hate
We'll
it.
give you a call or whatever.
Yeah. You can have a seat. Do you have any other questions?
Yeah. You want to come on?
Sure.
This was crazy.
Raise your right hand. You solemnly swear from the
Testify.
testimony you give in these proceedings with the whole truth yourself you got.
I do.
I have a good mind to call that phone number right now.
Oh my God, call it. I didn't see this part.
Yeah, please do.
I will. Go ahead and tell it.
So I'm watching this for the first time with you guys. I had to stop because I had to go pick up my daughter. So I didn't watch this part. So I'm going to be just as surprised as you. Let's roll.
Your Honor, at the defense's request, I looked into that phone number, contacted one of the other detectives at the police department. We put it in our investigative tool to find out where the number came from. The number is registered as a bandwidth number, which in my experience and training and experience is commonly used to masquerade. These are unregistered numbers that people can grab the number and masquerade that the number is actually coming from a different device. It's not attached to a device.
So somebody can use that to disguise the fact that
Absolutely.
they're calling from, they're the one calling even though it's not from their phone.
Absolutely.
Well, if I may, Judge, so let's assume for the moment that Steve used this phone to call her. It would instead of showing up Steve's number, it would show up this masking number, correct?
I can't say that device would record, would depict that a phone call was placed from that using a bandwidth number. I don't have the expertise to say that.
Well, you can surely tell whether a phone call was placed from this phone.
Absolutely not.
No. Whether a call was made at 1:40 this afternoon from this phone.
I cannot.
Well, you might not be able to determine whether it was from 734-508-2766, but you can tell whether a phone call was placed.
No, I cannot.
Okay, so you don't have the expertise or it's impossible?
I'm saying that I don't have the expertise.
You know where Mr. Crane was this afternoon at 1:40?
I do not.
Okay, so you don't have any idea whether he was sitting in my car?
I don't.
Is that parking lot surveilled?
I believe so.
Would you care to look at the surveillance tape to determine when he entered my car and when he exited my car?
I would look at it if that's what the judge would like me to do.
Well, I think it's pretty important if the suggestion is that my client made a phone call and told the complaining witness to leave. And I think that's a crime. That's not just a bond violation. This is a witness intimidation. That's a crime. And lying about that.
I know, but finish your question.
Okay. So if we could take a break in this hearing, you'd go resort and look at the cameras and find out when he got in my car, when he got in my car, when we both came into this courthouse.
I believe that it would say that. I don't know for sure. But even if he was in your car, that wouldn't tell me whether he placed the call or not.
Unless I took the stand and testified as an officer of the court as to what happened in my vehicle. Judge, you know, we're so far afield now on the realm and the cusp of perjury that I think that this is vitally important, and I'm willing to have this detective do whatever is necessary for as long as necessary to determine when Mr. Crane was in my vehicle, for how long, when we exited. And I will testify as to what took place in that vehicle. The suggestion that I suborned a crime, that I someone was a party to.
Suggesting that you suborned perjury or suborned any type of, where a conspirator to commit a crime, obstruction of justice, intimidation of a witness, whatever you want to call it.
Okay, well, I appreciate that. Okay, I appreciate that.
So,
but,
well, I mean, come on, you didn't.
Well, it's very, you know.
Wait a second. Do you have any other questions?
No, I don't.
Do you have anything else?
I don't, Your Honor.
Go get those witnesses in here.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
I just don't.
What do we think's going to happen? Huh? He's going to throw this guy in jail or what? Yeah, I take Matlock. Perry Mason is I would take Matlock. Matlock's my boy. The way I see it, I'm in with you on that one. I used to watch Matlock with my grandmother. Getting the witnesses.
Who do you want him to testify here, Mr. Curry?
Well, I don't know, I necessarily want Andrea to testify, but I suppose we could call Ms. Ducal, if the court wanted to hear from her relative to, you know, she did have her bet at the end, I believe.
Well, you asked that the witnesses be sequestered. I'm just wondering who you wanted me to call, bring up for you, whatever you want me to do.
Well, again, this is how we're getting, approaching the realm of, you know, burdens of proof, discharges of same. I don't know who's.
Let me worry about that.
Okay. But
I could have done one of two things, just so this record is clear. I did not have to afford him a hearing immediately. I did not want to wait till Tuesday. The Wayne County Prosecutor's Office is so incredibly overstaffed, they could not have sent me anybody unless I made jurors wait in the juror assembly room tomorrow, because it just so happens Mr. Kazak. Look, I was trying to get to the bottom of this as quickly as I could, so I could make a decision as to whether or not there was a violation of the bond without having to have him sit in jail for 5 days. So I just need this to be clear.
Judge, I respect that.
Okay.
And I thank you.
Okay, so you asked when Ms. Duco,
And I suppose in light of the testimony, we can ask her, we call her to stand, and ask her how sure she is about the voice that she claimed she heard. Because I believe at the end, she hedged her bet of it and said, I believe so.
but she was, hang on, but you asked, I just want to make sure we're on the same page. You asked when she was testifying that the victim's advocate, that both of them leave, right? That's what you asked. You asked the sequester witnesses. Ms. Duco was already on the stand.
Correct.
So did you want to call one of them?
Monk.
Well,
If you don't, you don't.
we could call Anna Ducal to the stand, but then that we could have Kayla Ducal be sequestered.
Okay, is that what you want?
I think if we're gonna get to the bottom of what
Come on,
did or
here.
did not happen at 140.
Ms. Duco, Kayla, why don't you have a seat out there, please? Come on right up here to the witness chair, please. I'm gonna ask you to raise your
This
right
guy's
hand.
goose
You
is
solemnly swear
cooked.
affirm and defend
He's
the perjury
cooked.
The testimony will give in these proceedings will hold yourself to God.
Yes.
Can you have a seat and spell your complete name for me?
My name is Anna. Last name is Gardner. Now I got married last year, so it's Gardner.
And what was your maiden name?
Duplo, Duclo.
And so Kayla is what relation?
She's my cousin.
All right. Were you were initially in here
Yes.
when Anna testified that there was a phone call received sometime around 1:40 or 1:46 this afternoon
Yes, sir.
from a phone number 508-2766. Were you not?
Yes, I answered the call.
And why did you answer the call?
The phone was next to me. She was talking with Rachel and going over stuff, and it started ringing, and I said, should I answer it? Because it was a number we did not know. And you have to put that phone on speaker. So I answered it and hit the speaker button. Because if you hold it to your ear, you can't hear anything. That speaker on top is broken. So I hit answer and hit speaker. It was on the table in front of everyone. And it was like you heard chatter for a second and then leave. And then it hung up.
Do you know Mr. Crane?
I know him, not like close with him, but I know him. He's been in my house. I've been in his house. He's been with my cousin for years. So yes.
Okay. And do you recognize his voice?
Yes.
Can you identify who the caller was?
It did sound like him, yes. Of course, I can't say 100% because it was not his phone number, but it did sound like him. And nobody has called that phone except for the text she got from him and the dentist office and the courts. So I answered it because I wasn't sure if it was going to be someone from a police station since she was called from the police station that we had to come here today. So that's why I answered.
Do you have any questions of her?
I do. You indicated that there was chatter for a second?
Yeah, it was like you just heard like a background noise, like just noise in the background when you answer a call. Like it wasn't dead silent in the background. And then you heard leave and then it clicked.
Chatter in the sense of people talking in the background?
I don't know if it was people talking. It was just noise. I guess chatter was the wrong word, but just like noise in the background for a split second. I said hello. Noise in the background, and then all you heard was leave, and then the phone.
You said
hung up.
hello?
Yes, I said hello
Okay.
when I answered the phone call.
So it wasn't, Anna didn't take control?
I am Anna, yes.
I'm sorry. Kayla didn't take control of the phone?
No.
Once you answered?
Correct. It was just on the center of the table,
Okay.
on speakerphone.
And would it surprise you to learn that Kayla didn't mention anything about chatter or any other noise besides leave?
No, it would not surprise me. She's been very flustered these last couple of weeks, so.
All right. You know where Mr. Crane was this afternoon, 1:40?
I do not know.
Okay, you came here with Kayla or no?
Yes, I drove her here.
Okay, and when you got here, did you see Mr. Crane's mother's vehicle?
It was not here yet. It pulled in as we were walking in the door.
Okay, so you did see Mr. Crane pull in?
I saw his mother's vehicle. That's who he was with, yes.
Okay, what time was that?
I'm not sure.
Thank you.
We got here at about 1:30, I think. It was about then.
Okay. You don't know what I got here?
No, I do not.
Nothing for the jury.
Is there anything you would like me to ask him, Sergeant? Ask her?
I don't think so, Your Honor.
Ma'am, thank you very much. You can step down. I'd like you to do me a favor and send Kayla that.
Yes, sir.
Judge McNally is so entertained with this case. It's unbelievable. He's only put his head back once. He's usually did it about 5 to 7 times at this point in every case. He's only put his head back once in this case. Oh, I stand corrected. Twice. And sometimes you get for like 2 minutes. He always looks like he wants to be somewhere else, but loves his job. I told you this was a good one. Like I said, I'm watching this for the first time too.
And you are still under oath, okay? The phone that you have now, when did you acquire that phone?
Which one? The one that I'm
The one
using?
that you were called on this afternoon.
We're on the same plan. We got it maybe 3 years ago. I've had that number for maybe 3 years now.
Okay, I thought you said something to the effect, the only one that's called you was, I think you said the court and your dentist. Didn't you say your dentist?
Yeah, no one's been calling me. I've been by myself. I haven't,
Did you see Mr. Crane on their way into the courthouse today?
as I was walking in, he pulled in his mom's Jeep. Like he was pulling in right as I was walking in.
How long have you two been together?
It'd be almost 5 years.
And you said, Ms. McCarty is correct, you did say, I believe it was his voice.
Yeah,
I don't know what that means. I want to be sure. Are you certain, 100%
just
certain?
the tone, the way it was said to me, like I believe it was him. Just the way it was said, the tone in the voice, the sound.
Are we all in agreement that it was him on the phone? I mean, can we get over this point? I mean, why? I mean, it was definitely him. Who else would it be? The phone is used for only what, court and doctor's appointments, they were saying. It was definitely him.
Do you have any other questions?
What did you hear before leave?
It was just leave.
Anything else?
And then hung up.
Anything else?
No, go ahead.
You can step down.
Okay.
Do you have any other witnesses that you want to present? Any other witnesses you want me to make come up here and testify?
Well, you know, to the extent necessary, I'd like this detective to look at the surveillance camera, unless you want to take judicial notice of the fact that we were in my car at the time in which this call was allegedly made to this witness. I think a follow-up in that regard would be do a dump of the witness's phone and determine who called her, when, and on what frequency. If she's had that phone for 3 years, the testimony this afternoon, and nobody calls her but the court and the dentist, and I think it stretches the bounds of credulity. I mean, the upshot of this, Judge,
I'm really concerned about this at this point.
yeah, I am too.
Hang on.
The upshot of one of the.
Hang on, let me finish. Anybody who was listening to me on Tuesday, well, I never really said I find that there's a bond violation. Anybody who was listening to me would have known, or I did a horrible job of explaining myself, that there was no doubt in my mind but that Mr. Crane had contact purposely. I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt. I did not want to revoke the release. I did not want to forfeit the bond. I don't know that I used the word that you used in court or about anybody who was listening, but I do know that I made it abundantly clear I wanted there to be no contact. To say that I was shocked this morning when I'm receiving this testimony. And now, so what I'm left with, Mr. McCarty, is two things. I'm left with somebody now telling me that they texted her accidentally. Which I can't imagine doing after a judge just talked to me 8 hours early. And that somehow, some way, somebody called right when she's in court and said, leave. It was neither Mr. Crane nor anybody else affiliated with Mr. Crane. I'm 64 years old. I don't know how long I've had a cell phone now, but I don't ever remember just having somebody call me up, say, leave, and then hang up. And how ironic it happened when somebody is in a courthouse. Now, Mr. Crane, I found to be very unbelievable the other day. I really did. He pushed all the buttons. pushed all the buttons of what I've learned in my career here as to why and how people lie or how I can detect liars. So somehow, some way, within 4 or 5 minutes, the time that she's supposed to come in, maybe 10, I think I initially told everybody to be here at 2, but I don't remember. Or 15 minutes while in the courthouse, while within a few minutes of driving through the parking lot into the courthouse and sitting in the courthouse. I either have to be that she's totally contrived a story, which has been corroborated by her cousin to the tune that somebody called and said leave, or suddenly, somehow, some way, somebody called and said leave, even though she probably has never received such a call, at least I have. At a very crucial time when everybody knew that I was summoning everybody for a bond violation. I would have thought, I don't want to know what he told you, that's attorney-client privilege, but I would have thought if I violated a no contact provision that a judge said, and I can't imagine doing that accidentally, that I would have called my lawyer. In other words, his defense seems to be he was intending to text somebody else and accidentally texted this young man.
And tried to unsend it.
And then somehow, some way, she gets this call leave while she happens to be in the courthouse from phone.
And Mr. Crane.
So I'm gonna let you argue, but I'm not directing this detective to do any investigation. If you want to do that, you can do that. If you want to ask them to get the surveillance video, you can feel free to do that. But I'm gonna make this decision now. I think it's that important, that serious, that when somebody was told not to have contact, did have contact, the judge chastised them for 5 minutes. And 10 hours later, he's going out and having contact. And then so incredibly, she gets this call leave right when she's in the courthouse to testify regarding the bond violation. Now, I grant you don't have a smoking gun where there's 20 witnesses watching somebody pull a trigger. But if that isn't circumstantial evidence that he committed a violation of the no contact provision intentionally, I don't know what is. So I'm going to listen to your argument, and I'm going to make up my mind. But he scares me. Put your hand down.
Sorry.
Yes.
You know, I've been doing this a long time.
39 years.
I've seen every type of person come in here and try to tell me things that just aren't true. Now, I thought I was pretty good at determining who was a liar before I got here. And I got to tell you, you cannot sit and listen to 250,000 cases over the course of 29 years and not become exceedingly good at it. It's almost impossible. So just let your lawyer do his job. So that's what you've got to contend with. This is not personal with you, Mr. McCarty, but your client. Your client is not listening to instructions from judges. And this is not personal. I mean, I love it when people say your court. Nobody's ever here. Never one time in 29 years have I sat here and said MYCOURT, not once. Nobody's ever heard me say that because it isn't mine. I don't see a deed on the wall. Nobody's gifted me, willed this, and this is not about me. I just happen to be this guy that somebody trusted 29 years ago, and people continue to trust to sit here. This is about our system, though. And I'm not going to put up with people that think they can make their own rules. So you got a lot to argue and contend with here because I'm not changing my bond unless you do some real fast talking here. I'll listen to whatever you have to say.
Well, certainly my intent is not to talk fast or slow or anywhere in between, but to try to arrive at the truth and justice here.
Of course.
And the truth of the matter is my client sent a text to Kayla at 6:06 p.m. on Tuesday, the day we were in court. Now, another truth is, if you look at that phone and do a forensic dump that I've offered, and I'll consent to release of it this moment while he's in custody or anywhere in between, that he attempted to unsend that and thought he had done it. Otherwise, he might have called me and said, hey, I just screwed up. But he didn't. What he did do is after he sent an unintended or a text to an unintended recipient, he immediately then turned around at 6:08 and texted his daughter. And then again at 6:11, and not hearing from her, texted his mother. Now, what he's now establishing like an alibi for this. He's establishing a defense when he gets called into court on a bond violation. Oh, I've got it all figured out. I'll show him this is why I did it. That's preposterous. The man plows snow for a living, but he's sophisticated enough to use some robocall as he's sitting in my vehicle. As we're told about a hearing about an hour and a half ago, he put it all together and figured out how to do a robocall and called this complainant and said, leave. How was that even possible?
I didn't say he did it.
Well,
I did not. If you listen to me carefully, I said him or somebody else.
Well, okay, but they didn't say somebody else's voice. They said it was his. And this witness sat up there and told you on the basis of one word. And while she hesitated to say she can't be completely certain, I believe it's him. Now, Judge, we didn't even find out about this until later this morning.
Well, no.
And right, and so, but you have to understand, so how is it that he established this timeline of text back at 6:08 and 6:11 and then 6:15 with his mother, thinking that this was going to come up? I mean, that's like creating the alibi, before the crime is even reported. This doesn't make any sense, Judge. It just doesn't.
So all these were just a mistake.
No, absolutely. Hey, Judge, the other day, I went to text an opposing counsel, Chris, and sent her a copy of the Michigan Bad Government that regarding surrendering of your license. And you know who I sent it to? Chris Creighton, my son's head football coach at Eastern Michigan. Now, that was embarrassing. That I sent a private communication between me and opposing counsel, Chris Anderson, and I sent it to the head football coach at Eastern Michigan. And I'm a lawyer, and I'm here to tell you I make mistakes.
Of course.
And so he's got 3 Ks in his life, Kayla, Kristen, Kylie, and he sent it to the wrong one. And as soon as he realized it, he tried to undo it and thought he did. And then he went and took care of what he tried to do, his business, so to speak. Now, and that's all in that phone. And it can be analyzed and be discovered. I'm not trying to hide anything.
You can feel free to have it analyzed.
But Judge,
I'm not ordering them to, and the court's not about to undertake that.
Okay, I appreciate that. But what I'm suggesting is to entertain the possibility that this was unintended. And he did it, but he didn't mean to do it. And it doesn't make any sense. Not having any contact since January 22nd, all of a sudden you read him the riot act, the come to Jesus speech on Tuesday, and then he's gonna text her, what you doing?
Well, he did have contact with her since the nature of the hearing happened. That was contact since January 22nd.
Well, to the extent
you're talking
talking
about the contact that had occurred that I heard about on Tuesday, which was what, the 14th?
Tuesday was the 14th, and
I believe the contact. Now, listen, you probably, I'm sure you're busy, but I probably only had 100 people in front of me since he was in here Tuesday, if not more. But my recollection is that the contact had happened the day before.
It was the week before.
Okay, well,
that's close.
So that's not truthful when you're saying that he didn't have any contact with her from January 23 until the night of the 14th.
Well, let me clarify that and specify. He didn't have any text conversation with her since, that's frankly, like the majority of us how we communicate. And to me, it doesn't make any sense how he would go from January to 22nd to Tuesday, the 14th.
I know a lot of this doesn't make sense. Every day.
I know, but
every single day.
I think
no, I agree with you. A lot of it doesn't make any sense.
Right. But it further doesn't make sense that my client is somehow sophisticated enough to create a defense to a violation of probation that's not even been asserted yet. And we don't even know about it until this morning. And then somehow, between getting off of work and having his mother give him a ride here and me coming down from Howell, he's sophisticated enough again to create this robocall and a message of
Court's convinced. Did I let you finish?
Hey, Judge, I'm not going to stop the train.
I know that. I'm just asking if I let you finish. The court is convinced somebody called and said the testimony was that the belief was that it was the defendant. I told the defendant not to have contact. He was told that by my co-judge here, my colleague who set the bond, I believe, initially, not to have contact. He had contact last week. I admonished him on Tuesday. I didn't forfeit his bond. I didn't revoke the release. And I'm just convinced he had contact, not on one, but on 2 occasions, now 3, if you include the one last week. The bond's forfeited. I won't set 10,000 cash. It is going to be 4,000 cash. Do it again, and we're going to have a big problem. Take her out of your phone. Do whatever you got to do. 4,000 cash. Bond conditions otherwise continued. I will see everybody here. Counsel, I signed your order.
Yeah, thank you.
You have a funeral. I understand. I'm sorry for your loss. We're going to do it March the 7th at 10, but you can't ask me for another adjournment, okay?
Wow. Judge Dad. I thought he was going to get jail time. He didn't get any jail time, but I have a funny feeling this guy's going to be back. And McNally saves his live streams. I wonder if that was on Tuesday. I'm going to try to find that one on Tuesday because I want to see the initial hearing when he laid down the PPO before he violated. So I'm going to try to get that for everybody. Unbelievable, Sean. Unbelievable. I got to keep this rolling, guys. You want to stay? I got 263 people in the room. This is the highest live we've had. The chat's rocking. People are buying. People are donating memberships, gifted memberships left and right. This community's great. Let's go on to Judge Washington. I ain't going to sleep. Let's go. Let's roll, Judge.
And fee now, however, I'm sorry.
Okay, so what happened was I turned Judge Washington. I said, hey, I usually get a couple good clips out of Judge Washington. And this lineup here is probably the greatest lineup of defendants, one after another. None of them are over the top, but it's just a consistent stream of interesting cases and interesting people. I've never seen it this long and sustained this long for over a period of time. And I was just mesmerized. I'm going to have to cut it at some point, but it's just one after another. Let's enjoy.
Go ahead.
I want to speak to the judge. If I
Here you go, right off the bat.
Oh, you muted yourself, sir.
Sorry about that. If I just have a second just to speak with Miss Washington, that would be great.
You may, sir.
Hi, Judge Washington. So it's a lot going on with my license. My license was faultily suspended. I spoke with the Secretary of State. There was some accidents on my record that was tying up my license situation, so they suspended me. I went to the reinstatement or the re-exam with Jason Washington at the Secretary of State. And he explained to me basically that the accidents I contacted the Secretary of State because the accidents that they're telling me on my record that I committed where I didn't commit. So they're trying to have me pay the reinstatement fee and then refund me back the money. And I told them that I just don't have the money right now to pay the reinstatement fee if I don't have to waste the money to pay it. So I'm waiting on the supervisor right now to call me back. I've been on the phone with them all morning, yesterday morning, in regards to getting my license back in order. What's going on is they want me to show proof that it's in the police report. I don't know what proof they want from me, but I explained to them that the accidents were not my fault. The reanalysis that did my reexamination also told me that they were not my fault. So they're reaching out to him now in regards to paying the reinstatement fee. That's all I have to do now is just pay that $125 and I can get my license back.
Well, you actually also have a ticket out of Jackson County, sir. 12th District Court that needs to be addressed still.
That's Jackson, you said?
Yes, it is.
Oh, yeah, I'm already on the ballpark with them. I've been in contact with them as well.
Well, apparently you've also been in contact with us here at 14B, and you apparently hung up on one of my clerks this morning.
I didn't hang up. My phone had died. I called back. I explained that to her.
Okay, well, let's make sure that the conversation goes better next time, okay?
Yeah, yeah, my phone died. That's no problem though.
Given your explanation that you provided for us today, I had said last adjournment last time, but you only have one ticket left. And it sounds like you're very close to being having your license back. So I think that's why you're giving me that full explanation, because you remembered what I said. So
Yeah.
with that explanation, I'll give you one more opportunity, sir. Okay.
Thank you. Done next court date, I promise.
All right. I'm gonna bring you back on March 23rd.
March 23rd? Okay. What time?
2023 at 9 a.m.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor,
See you
for
then.
being the best. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
All right. You ready for this? Yeah. We're waiting on, we need to get a translator.
And cost sentence as well.
She's clear. All right, thank you. So if
Can you unmute your phone and
Skip to
state
the
your
good
name for
stuff,
the
guys.
record?
Skip to the good stuff. I'm getting better
you're
at it.
muted still,
You're muted.
please unmute.
Anthony Osorio Vasquez.
Good morning, sir. All right, we're here on an expired license. His license seems to still be expired.
That is correct, Judge. I spoke with Mr. Alsario Vasquez. He says that Secretary of State says that on February 19th, he will be able to renew his license and get a valid license. So we're just asking for a date shortly after that.
Any objection?
No objection.
Just so that we make sure we have this done, I'm gonna put it on March 23rd. When you come back here, sir, you should have this done. If not, then that's your last. You won't get any more adjournments. Okay?
Fair enough. Thank you.
March 23rd at 9 a.m.
Sir, can you unmute and state your name for the record, please?
Kyle Hall.
Thank you. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
We have a pretrial today?
Yes, I'm sorry. If I could have just one moment. He would like to set this for final settlement conference at this time.
Final settlement conference in this case will be on March 30th, 2023 at 11 a.m. with jury selection being on April 14th, 2023 at 9 a.m. The
And
second hearing is in person. Bond is continued. You're all set, so you're excused. Have a good day.
Okay, so March 30th, I come back.
On Zoom.
The controlled substance of cocaine only. So we
Um,
did receive that test, and so I have forwarded on to so that council can review it, but it wouldn't be something that I believe would affect how we proceed here.
All right, thank you so much. He's missed 10 of his last tests is what the bond violation is.
10 of
Okay.
the last 10.
Yeah,
How
has
does
not
this
been
happen?
tested since his last positive THC on December the 2nd.
Okay. Sir, what's going on?
You want to talk to him on a well?
If I could have a breakout room with him, please.
Miss, I was incarcerated. I just got out of jail on when I get out of jail 2 weeks ago. I was in jail for 26 days.
They're so nonchalant about jail.
And I seen Miss Washington. She the one who let me out anyways.
Well, how come you haven't gone to test, sir?
Nobody said anything to me about testing. I seen you in jail on the 23rd, and the only thing we said is that I had to come back to this court date, and that was it. But they didn't let me out of jail no time during none of that.
And it appears you were released on January 24th. So you were only in from December 31st to January.
Right.
24th, and you got arraigned on November 28th before the magistrate on this 22S00491 case. which is the operating with the presence of controlled substance. And at that time, the magistrate told you that you had to have no alcohol and no drugs, and that you were supposed to be testing.
I thought that was from my domestic third.
Well, are you clear now that you need to go test her?
If I had one case, I would be a nervous
You need to
wreck.
test within 24 hours or a bench warrant will issue.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Just wait till we get to
You're all
this
set.
guy.
I'll see you. Did we give you a new date yet?
No.
Okay. We'll see
Try
you
to
back
guess
here.
what. Try to guess what
on
Steve
March-
Strom is here for. Try to guess what Steve
March
Strom is here
16th.
for. Whoever guesses it gets
All
a free pre-trial
Thank you,
shirt
sir.
when it comes out. On me. If you guess what Steve Strom did, and don't guess if you saw this. Be honest. If you could guess what Steve Strom did, you will get a pre-trial shirt on time.
You want to switch?
It is a doozy.
Okay. These I haven't written on all of these, just the one, but okay. All right, then I'll put it. I'll hold it. All right. Just so we can put it over. All right. State of Michigan versus Steve Strom, 05S00690.
Rachel McDuffie for the people.
Assistant Public Defender Melissa Kleeman on behalf of Ms. Strom. And sir, can you state your name for the record, please?
Carl Strom.
All right, Mr. Strom.
Here we go.
All right, I passed this matter so you'd have an opportunity to speak with your client. Is that correct?
That is correct. And he would like to proceed with taking the plea as charged today with the agreement for fines and costs. However, he is asking for that to be a no contest
The answer is in the chat.
plea due to lack of recollection because of the age of the case.
All right, I'll have to make a record here on Zoom as to what the factual basis for that is. So I'll need a police report to do that.
Oh, I did send that over to Heather
Okay, thank you.
a couple of minutes ago. Okay.
And you got to hear how Judge Washington explains it.
All right.
Oh, I fell out of my chair.
All right, so you're here today for
This is why people hate me in the comments.
pre-trial. It's my understanding you're going to plead as charged and that the court would sentence you to fines and costs only. And is that what you want to do at this time?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Please raise your right hand and be sworn. I can't see your hand. There you go. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. You may lower your hand. I'm going to ask you some questions. First of all, I'm going to go over your rights that you have and that you're going to be giving up. And if I ask you something that you don't understand, or if you feel like you need to speak with your attorney again, please let me know, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
You have a right to have a trial by a jury in this case, or in this case, we're going to wait to a non-jury trial where you can call witnesses to speak for you, and you can get an order signed by me to require that they come to court. You also have the right to see, hear, and question each and every witness that is called against you by the prosecution, and to be a witness for yourself, or you could choose to remain silent. If you chose to remain silent, the prosecutor could not comment on that. You also have the right to be presumed innocent unless proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. Do you understand all those rights, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand you're going to be giving up each and every one of those rights, and you're not going to have a trial of any sort by entering into this plea?
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
Do you understand that there's no automatic right to appeal this decision, which means that in all likelihood, this decision is going to stick with you and remain on your record? Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
You also understand if you were on probation, parole, or bond at the time you committed this offense, it could be considered a violation of those if you're still on any of those at this time.
I understand, ma'am.
And do you also understand that if you are not a U.S. citizen, it could have immigration consequences?
Yes, ma'am. I'm
You are,
US.
thank you.
You got a
So
couple
to
out of
the
that.
charge of indecent exposure, how do you plead, sir?
No contest.
All right, and has anyone promised you anything other than what's been placed on the record to get you to plead no contest, sir?
No, ma'am.
Anyone threaten you in any way?
No.
All right, and the basis for the no contest plea is a lack of memory. I find that is an adequate basis for a no contest plea. And you understand what no contest means, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
It means that you're gonna not say you did it, you're not gonna say you didn't do it, and we're gonna treat you as if you're guilty. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
All right. I'm going to review any objection to a no contest plea, Ms. McDuffie.
No objection, ma'am.
Listen,
Thank you.
listen.
I'm gonna review the report now, so give me one moment to review that. And if there's any specific space within the report that someone can direct me to expedite the matter, I'd be happy to receive it. I don't have it yet. Wait 1 second. Do I get it? Where is it? Okay, here we go. I have it. Sorry. It was a little further down. I was expecting it to be the first one on time.
Just wait how she explains what he did.
This is so old. I gotta figure out where the proper information is. All right, so
She just said, "Oh my God." She read the report and said, "Oh my God."
this is it's the case report number.
She's reading the police report. She said, "Look at her laughing. Look at her laughing." And she's got a sense of humor, but she usually doesn't laugh at this. She's getting a kick out of this. Just wait.
All right. Well, this is what I got. This occurred on June 9th of 2005.
Look at Steve. He's like, "Oh,
at
man."
the vicinity of 1005 East Michigan Avenue in Ypsilanti Township, which apparently is a place called Laundry Land. A witness at that
He exposed himself at Laundryland in Ypsilanti. Just listen to that phrase.
time by the last name of Miss Williams says that she witnessed Mr. Strom expose his private area. He pulled it out at that time and she told her mom. They watched him go to his vehicle and a witness at that time by the last name of Miss Williams says that she witnessed Mr. Strom expose his private area. He pulled it out at that time and she told her mom. They watched him go to his vehicle and the investigation showed that it was Mr. Strom. I find that there's a factual basis for the plea that has been willingly and knowingly made. Are you satisfied, Ms. McDuffie?
People are satisfied.
I'm satisfied as well.
Thank you. All right, as to sentencing, anything from anyone with respect to this matter? Ms. Freeman, I'll start with you.
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Ms. McDuffie.
Your Honor, as the people stated, I think that they're part of the long delay in this case coming to a resolution is given, is that Mr. Strome was in prison for quite some time, as he stated. He was recently paroled, I believe, in September of last year. And so the people understand that he's already under parole supervision at this time. So that's why we had no problem with the fines and cost sentence here.
Thank you. Anything you want to say before sentencing, sir?
No, ma'am.
All right. Fines and costs in this case for a total of $575.
That's an
Are
expensive.
you able to pay those at this time, sir?
I will be able to pay them in 2 weeks.
All right. I will bring you back here on March the 23rd to see if you paid. No, March. Can't tell if that's final. March the 16th and see if you paid, okay?
I'll be there to pay it, ma'am. I have the money now, but it's going to take me a couple of weeks to arrange a ride.
I understand. So if you've paid, you don't have to be here, okay?
Okay.
You're all set, sir. Have a good day.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm sorry about this.
I imagine you are, and it's been a long time now. That's many, many years ago. So hopefully you're a different person. All right.
Thank you, ma'am.
She
State of
said
Michigan versus
hopefully.
Daryl Hicks, case number 23-00069.
Rachel McDuffie for the people.
Assistant Public Defender, Nancy K. Really, Your Honor, on behalf of Mr. Daryl Hicks.
Mr. Hicks, please
Yes.
state your name.
Darrell Hicks.
Thank you. We have a pretrial today.
That is correct, Judge. We're asking for an adjournment in this matter. We've had an opportunity to speak with our client. We just want to see what all options are available in regards to offers.
And I can place on the record that Mr. Hicks is eligible for HIDA, so no objection to that. Okay.
All right, we'll adjourn this matter, sir, to March the 16th, 2023 at 9 a.m. Okay?
Okay.
You need to be back in Zoom at that time. Hopefully it'll go much smoother for us all on that day.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
State of Michigan versus Aaron Fleming, 22S405965A, B, and C.
Rachel McDuffie for the people.
Assistant Public Defender, Nancy K. Really, Your Honor, on behalf of Mr. Fleming.
Mr. Fleming, please state your name, sir.
Aaron Fleming.
Thank you. Good morning, sir. Mr. Fleming is valid. Congratulations, Mr. Fleming.
Thank you.
So, Judge,
If you follow Judge Washington, Fleming is come a long way in becoming valid. He had ticket after ticket after ticket after ticket, and he finally worked hard enough, took defensive driving courses, got the points erased, and now he is valid. That's what she's talking about.
with that, I think, Ms. Duffy, are we?
Are you missing an A ticket?
Yes, so I have for Mr. Fleming, glad to hear that he is valid. So with the court's representation there, no problem dismissing that case. It looks like he also has 2 other defaulted tickets. So I didn't know how we were dealing with those.
All right, I'm going to, first of all, dismiss on the, realize I'm sitting over here and I don't have some of my normal tools. So the A ticket is dismissed upon prosecutors. And then as far as the show causes, sir, for the speeding ticket, 11 to 15 over. Is that still, that's $140? Are we still at the same amount on that? Okay.
Medical marijuana. And unfortunately for the sobriety court, no substance whatsoever is allowed, even if it is prescription. And that would make him ineligible because he would not be able to continue to use it in the prescribed manner and stay in the sobriety court. Ms. Johns's statements were pretty clear that opiates, any type of medication, prescribed or not, are not allowed. then my understanding is where we were left off is that Mr. Burdell said that he would still be able to accept the plea and go into probation traditionally. I spoke with Ms. Johnson through probation, and she states that he would need to complete an assessment as well as bring proof of his medical marijuana or the reason for the prescription for the marijuana before probation would be able to essentially assess him and see what would be appropriate for probation. I have not been able to make any contact with Mr. Williams to let him know that. So I was hoping that we would be able to discuss that today to let him know what's next. Since he has completed that assessment, which was one of the things Ms. Johnson said he would need, I think all we would need is proof of his medical marijuana or proof of the reason for the prescription, and then hand it over to probation from there, Judge.
Thank you. Ms. McDuffie, what is your position on this?
No objection, Your Honor. It sounds like there's quite a bit of history here. But things are on their way to being resolved. So no issues. I understand that I do have documentation of Mr. Burdell's prior offers with and without sobriety court, as Mr. Carriac and really just mentioned. So no objection to whatever the court deems appropriate for how we move forward.
Well, it sounds like now we're gonna be waiting on a report, and it's not gonna be referred back to sobriety court because of his medical marijuana. And if you're willing to accept him in a standard probationary as a result of that, then we just have to wait for the report from probation. So that's what we'll do.
And Judge, can you provide Mr. Williams the contact for probation so that he can?
Is Michigan, is weed legal in Michigan for recreational use? I know it is in Jersey.
And whatever assessment and the medical marijuana documentation directly, please?
I can definitely do that, but usually.
I've been in contact with them, Your Honor.
Okay.
I've actually spoke to probation twice.
And usually Ms. Geiger sends that over as well on her.
Gotcha.
Own. So we will adjourn this to March the 9th, 2023 at 10 a.m. and hopefully we can finally get this sentence done. Bond is continued.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Judge.
Number 4. He's already in contact with them. He said. State of Michigan versus Mo Al-Mahanawi. Case number 23S4164377.
What was that, Judge?
For the people.
Good morning, Your Honor. Zainab Hamoud for the defendant Mo. Your Honor, he is not present because we have already come to an agreement. Ms. McDuffie and I, the agreement was that the plea was going to be 1 to 5 over, and my client did accept that offer.
Is that correct, Ms. McDuffie?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right. You have the authority to accept responsibility for a 1 to 5 over speeding on the date of.
Your Honor, no objection, and I also support probation's recommendation with respect to the frequency of testing. I guess I would want to inquire, and Mr. Heaton can certainly advise too, whether probation and the court are able to receive any additional testing results that he may be getting from other sources.
Thank you. We are able to receive those if he does a release, just so you know. Sir, is there anything you want to say prior to sentencing?
I was just going to say what you said, that I already signed for consent for you guys to see my lab random test from my treatment center.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. I couldn't hear anything.
Judge Washington helped this guy out.
I'm sorry, I think you're on mute, Judge.
Am I muted yet? Yes, I am. Is there anything else you want to say, try to muster today to say?
Can you say that one more?
Anything else you want to say today?
No, I just, again, thanking you like I always have for giving me that chance. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, sir. All right, it's the sentence of this court to serve 93 days in the Washington County Jail. Credit for 1 day served, 92 days are suspended, meaning you won't have to do any additional jail time if you do everything you're supposed to do with respect to your probation. And obviously the goal here is to get this under control, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
You already know.
Yep.
You're on probation for 12 months. You can petition the court after you've completed half of that for early discharge. 5 days of community service, fines and court costs in this case for a total of $525. $30 per month probation oversight fee, completed an outpatient treatment program, approved by the probation and follow all recommendations, attend the MAD victim impact panel, meet with probation when and where directed, no use of possession of alcohol, marijuana, illegal drugs, or any other paraphernalia, no being in the presence of anyone using that, no use or possession of any firearms, firearm components, ammunition, or other dangerous weapon, and no being in the presence of anyone using that. You must drug and alcohol test 1 time per week, which is a total of 4 to 5 times a month. And any other test results need to be provided to the probation department. We'll do a review in 90 days, which will put us on May 18th, 2023, and that is at 10 a.m. You need to contact the probation department this afternoon to schedule a time for you to sign your contract, and they can go over these terms with you on a hopefully on a little bit slower basis, so that you'll be fully aware of all of them, okay?
Yeah, if I could just ask you one thing, will I be able to stay in my treatment plan that I'm already in, or the treatment center that I'm already on?
I believe that Mr. Heaton is going to approve that, and I have no problem with it. Mr. Heaton is unmuted, good morning, sir. Is there something you wanted to say?
I'm gonna jump to one of my favorite ones of the day, guys.
Thing is, you're not gonna be able to
The last two right here in Judge Washington. These last two guys are fantastic.
Between each other, odds and evens, but they're all PD cases, so either one of them should be.
Yeah,
thanks. Sorry about that.
Mr. Curry is fantastic.
Assistant Public Defender Chinazi Kerry, I can relate on behalf of Mr. Demetrius Curry, Judge.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Curry.
Good morning, Your Honor.
How you doing?
Doing quite well.
It says here in the report that you are you've decided you're gonna turn the corner and work with us so we can try to help you, right?
I'm gonna be a success story.
You're gonna be a success story. I'm glad to hear that. That's exciting.
I'm doing good though. I was in the program with the Care First with the parenting class, and I wasn't feeling. I was feeling they was more focused on the money and instead of really trying to help me. So I went out of there and just went to Pam's place and got in there and started paying my taking my classes and everything. So I'm going every week.
Okay, good. So yeah, it looks like you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. The only thing you're not doing is paying, and it looks like maybe you got some financial difficulties going on.
I'm working now. How much I owe? That's what I mean to ask.
$1,665, $1,665.
Hey, Jan, just work with me, please. I owe everybody money right now. I owe my mama. She looking for me. I'm high.
Well, just have it be a payment plan. Just make something. You ain't got to make that. Just pay something on it.
Yeah, I have been meaning to do that though, because I get paid every 2 weeks. So I'll start putting something down. Just
Okay.
Show the court I'm doing something.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for your patience today too. I know it's been a long day.
She's such a good judge.
Hey, I enjoy some of the stuff I was looking at. It showed me what not to do.
Some learning experience for you, huh?
It showed me what not to do. I'm at work right now enjoying this.
All right.
Definitely a breath of fresh air.
All right, sir. What we're gonna do is bring you back here. Do we have 90 days? So we won't see you for a while, okay?
Works for me.
All right, so we'll see you
But yeah,
back.
I'll make sure I get some money paid up there.
How much do you think you can pay a month?
Probably at least 100.
You pay 100 a month? All right.
Yeah, I pay 100 a month.
All right, then 100 a month it is, okay?
All right.
And you can work with probation to come up with the date that you're gonna pay that on, okay?
Okay.
All
I'll
right.
call Johnson.
We appreciate you and we'll see you back here on May 18th at 10 a.m., okay?
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
Keep up the good work. All
You
right,
too.
bye-bye. What about Mr. Beecham? He's here.
Oh boy,
Did I
Mr.
do
Beecham.
it?
Here we go.
Here it is.
See what I mean? Just consistently good, not too
All right, the
crazy.
phone call the case is State of Michigan versus Blessed Beecham, case number 21S.
Here we go.
405.
Rachel McDuffie for the people.
And Assistant Public Defender Chinagi Carey on behalf of Mr. Blessed Beecham.
Hello, Mr. Beecham. Please state your name, sir.
This is Beecham.
All right, how you doing now, Mr. Beecham?
Okay.
Okay. All right, Miss Akiri, I can really where we're with this matter, please. I know that just in the referral form, if you're being referred.
Okay, so they're starting to hear echo because Beecham's not using the phone and the audio right. And just wait what happens. Listen to the echo. That's not my technical difficulty. I know I'm the king of technical difficulties, but it's not me this time.
So, Your Honor, as the court is aware, I kind of jumped in. Mr. Beecham, can you mute your phone? I jumped in on this case. The last time we were here, the court wanted to know what the status on Mr. Beecham's competency was. I've had a few conversations with Mr. Beecham over the past few days. He was just recently released from St. Joe's. He had a failure to appear at our last hearing. I think the day after that, my office had received notification that he was at St. Joe's. He doesn't have his discharge paperwork yet. I mean, with him. He's currently at his ex-wife's home. She was just recently diagnosed with a terminal cancer. So he's been spending some time over there. He resides at the Delana Center. So he says his documentation is there. I've been trying to get in contact with his CMH worker as well to get that information from her so I can present that to the court. However, I think that Mr. Beecham is in a much better space than he was when he was speaking with Mr. Banas. I read through the notes. Mr. Banas had some concerns about his competency and his ability to kind of follow through with what was going on. I have had some very productive conversations with Mr. Beecham these last few days. I am going to ask the court. I saw an email that Mr. Banas had sent to the court asking them to sign the order for competency. If that has not been signed, Judge, then I would just ask the court to disregard that. And I personally will not be sending Mr. Beecham over for a competency evaluation. I've also spoken with Ms. McDuffie. We're looking for a little bit more time to discuss this matter in depth to see any offers that may be available. I know Ms. McDuffie is also familiar with Mr. Beecham because he had some 14A2 cases where she was. Those particular cases have since been resolved. Without him having to do any probation. I think he was able to do a fines and costs. He is still struggling a little bit. I am not a medical professional by far, but it's clear that Mr. Beecham is still struggling. He is with the crisis center right now, with the Delana Center. I think he has associated himself with a lot of support from the outside. I think he's been doing a pretty good job keeping in contact with those supports. He's hopeful that he can get these criminal matters closed out. He says that he was in a really dark place, a really bad place, but I can see him.
What could poor Mr. Beecham be doing? Poor Mr. Beecham. What criminal could he be having? He still looks like the nicest old man. Can't even work a phone.
And pulling himself back up, and he's getting closer and closer to the light. So I'm just asking for an adjournment today. I'm asking that the court hold off on any competency requests in regards to Mr. Beecham's case. And I think that we would be able to get some type of resolution at another hearing or the next hearing.
And Your Honor, I can just supplement that by saying, I just saw Mr. Beecham in person last week. He appeared at 14A2 for sentencing. He had 2 attempt R&O cases, and originally he had pled under a prosecutor's deferred for both of those cases, and he had been referred to probation. The only issue was just that ended up turning into fines and costs because I had been out of the room at that point, but there was a discussion that took place. His CMH worker was with him in person last Thursday at court. And they, the parties all had a conversation, probation, defense counsel, and the judge about, I can't remember exactly what took place. Somebody had to run and get me and say, is it okay to basically go to fines and costs? So he was getting ready to start some specific programming or treatment. I don't know exactly what that is. And we determined that the best thing would be to allow him, I believe, to do that rather than go through probation. But I cannot recall exactly what it was, which is what caused us to say fines and costs is okay. So I just wanted to have a chance to reconnect with some folks to find out what it was that that we agreed to, so that I can be fully informed about what might be best here as well.
Thank you. With respect to the procedural posture of the case, we had not received an actual order from Mr. Bandit. So there was nothing for us to sign because it had not been presented to the court to be signed. So with respect to the request for it to be adjourned, you can't hear me, sir? Can you hear me, Mr. Beecham? Can everyone else hear me?
I can hear you, Judge.
Okay. Mr. Beecham, can you hear me?
I can't hear. I can't hear.
Can you hear anyone? Can someone else?
Can you hear me, Mr. Beecham? Can
I
you hear
love
my
Beecham.
voice? Can you hear my voice, Mr. Beecham? Try turning up your volume. It's up. It's up. It's up.
Well, you can hear her then. You just heard her say that.
I can't hear. Volume's up.
Are we able to, if Ms. Kariakin really has good contact info, are we able to have her relay this information to Mr. Beecham?
I'm texting him right now, Judge, and we've been texting all morning. I can give him a call. I can't hear. I can't hear.
I heard you, sir.
Oh. Hold on, Mr. Beecham. Hold on, okay? No. Yes, it's my casework.
All right, I'm going to adjourn this, and I have to rely on you. Mr. Kiriaki, really, it's your decision as to whether or not you're making a referral. I'm gonna adjourn it to March 9th. Should be enough time for everybody to do their investigation. And you can talk to your client about that.
Yeah.
March 9th, 2023.
Poor
And
Washington.
that'll be at 9 a.m. I think what probably happened is sometimes when a new call comes in, it can make it so people can't hear.
Yeah.
I see you're texting with him.
Yes.
Bond will continue.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
Tell him his new date and hopefully he'll stop panicking because he seems to be in a complete panic right now.
Okay.
Bye, Mr. Beecham.
In the jar.
Gotta love mass confusion.
Are we ready to recall the Cope matter?
All right, guys, that's gonna do it. I thank you so much. We definitely hit the most out of all four of the lives. We almost hit 300. This channel is growing. I especially want to thank everyone who gifted memberships. Sean, thank you so much. Robert, thank you so much. Everyone who bought memberships. And I'm currently working and editing on a top 10 ranking. You know, like they do like the top 10 rankings. I'm doing the top 10 judges, and I'm trying to get an interactive poll through the chat. If I can't do it, then we'll just do what we can. But I am definitely working on a top 10 ranking, and I'm probably going to do it for the members first, and then I'll release it after the members in the private stream. We do it again. I thank you all. I'll be live tomorrow night, same time, same bat time, same bat channel. I thank you. This channel's growing. We'll be at 3K by the end of the weekend. I love you all. Thank you. Have a good night.